Recent coding bootcamp graduates portfolio review today on RealToughCandy. Mic check, microphone check. How's everybody doing out there? Happy Saturday. Welcome to another live stream on the RealToughCandy YouTube channel. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to come visit. These portfolio reviews are one of the more popular series on the channel, and I think I know why. They are relevant, they're timely, they're real world, and these are real people. And today we are looking at Sui's portfolio. Now, Sui is based in the Toronto area, the GTA, and when I first read that, I was like, oh, as in the video game? But GTA, as I learned yesterday, Greater Toronto area. So, Sui, I hope you could make it. If you're in, if you could pop in, let us know in the chat. Thanks for joining us, if you were able to. Also, Athalia, I think I finally got your name right. Developers, here's the thing. If your name isn't Tom, I'm probably going to mispronounce it. And I just, oh, it's so embarrassing. People say, oh, yeah, I'm so bad with names. I'm like, you don't get it. If your name is Thomas, I'm going to mispronounce it. So Athalia, hope I'm saying that right, but I think I finally got it. So welcome. If you're here, we did a great live stream yesterday. If you missed it, I highly encourage you guys to check it out if you're thinking of going to a boot camp or you want to share the video with someone in your life who's thinking about going to a boot camp. We talked about all sorts of stuff, payment options, predatory practices, what to look out for, what to look for in other areas of these boot camps, how to get good information, how to get reliable, accurate information if you're thinking about going to a coding boot camp. It was a great chat. Thanks, Elle, for showing up for that one yesterday, too. Let's go to the comments. Nick is here. Hello, Nick. Woohoo. Sui, Cohort 25, killing it. All right, cool. Welcome, everyone. How you guys doing today? Nice Saturday. You guys taking it easy? Or what's everybody up to? Who's working on what? Give everyone a few minutes here to file in. It's only 4:02. I'm thinking this is going to be about an hour. Normally with portfolio reviews, my focus is on the presentation. In fact, it's always like on the presentation of the portfolio and the projects themselves. And then we assess the strengths of the projects and maybe what the candidate can do or change to make them an even more attractive candidate to an employer. And the reason I picked Sui's portfolio today is because, number one, she shared it in the Discord. Paradoodly-doo is our mod extraordinaire today. Paradoodly, if you would be so kind to share the Discord link in the comments box, I would love to see some more people there. We've been getting a lot of new members, just an explosion of activity the past 24 hours. So really a fun little group. Not many people there. We got a few hundred people. I know, probably like 600, I want to say, there. Compared, I mean, that's a lot, but compared to these other Discords, some have like 100,000. But we talk about portfolios. We do a general chat where we just shoot the breeze and talk about life and coding and hopes and dreams and all this other stuff. Lots of randoms, if you guys like that. We have a music room to share some music, a recipe room, because I'm a total foodie. Someone shared some really good Korean recipes yesterday. I've been on a super Korean kick. I got this recipe for bulgogi beef. Where has it been all my life? Like, seriously? Product placement alert. New mug. Actually, not a very new mug. This is a new mug in my life. But the mugs are available on my CandyScript merch store. Also have t-shirts. Did it all for the JavaScript. Other designs too, but this one is the most popular one. And it's good for sipping drinks. Let's check the chat, and then we're going to start with this portfolio review. It's about 4:05, so let's see who all is here. Hey, Stephanie, how's it going? DV82010, hi. Michael Hamilton, ECS Young. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God! That's how I read that. Thanks, Paradoodly-doo, for popping in. Developers, I have some more fantastic news. So, Paradoodly-doo is my best friend, IRL. I've known Paradoodly for about 6 years. This weekend, after being subscribed for this channel, I've had this channel, RealToughCandy, doing RealToughCandy for almost 3 years. This weekend, Paradoodly-Doo is taking the plunge and learning HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. She is immersing herself in learning web development. Paradoodly, I knew deep down inside one day you would cross over. I knew it, and I'm so excited. I hope you love it. Are you anticipating it? Are you scared? Like, what is your status? What is your status? MD Legend, how's it going? Stylo816, RTC, is Brad Traversy getting his own platform? You know, he has been talking about it. He mentioned it either in a video or in one of the in the community platform where you can type. There's got to be a better term for that. On the community tab, maybe he typed about it or talked about it there. Having a wardrobe malfunction, pardon me. But I think he is. No, I don't know if he's going to totally abandon Udemy, but in my humble opinion, Traversy is well overdue for his own platform. It just makes sense. It just makes sense. And in fact, that's a video I'm going to be doing a live stream coming up. Andre Negoy now has his own platform. He is a rising Udemy superstar in the tradition of Colt Steele. He's really rising up as far as the go-to instructor for web development on Udemy. And now he has his own. Colt Steele went to Springboard, not necessarily his own platform, but he kind of jumped the Udemy ship. We're going to be talking about Udemy instructors jumping ship, or maybe that's not the right phrase, but getting their own platforms, doing their own thing, and doing things their way. So that's going to be coming up. Mostly the focus is going to be on Andre Negoy's new platform, because there's a lot to talk about with this platform. I'm one of his biggest fans, but I'm also not afraid to give an honest review. So you want to check that one out too if you're a self-taught developer who's interested in some of these web development courses. Paradoodly-Doo says, learn to code, I hope. I'm scared. Paradoodly, learning HTML and CSS this weekend, maybe some JavaScript, maybe she'll get to that module. She says, I'm scared. You'll be just fine. Gabrielle Kwong, and here I am doing my OS assignment. It's never a wrong time for a live stream, Gabrielle. I'm telling you. Stylo816, do you know of Steph Mischuk and his courses and channel? If you do, what is your opinion? You know what? We can talk about that. I contacted Steph. Sui's here. Sui. Thank you for coming to the live stream. I DM'd Sui the other night. She's a member of my Discord as well. I said, can I review your portfolio? I want to do a live stream reviewing someone's portfolio. And yours was really engaging. She said, yes. And then she DM'd me and said, I'm scared, but I'm excited. And I have to tell you, Sui, I totally understand. If I was in your position, I would never do this. I would never volunteer my portfolio to get ripped apart live on someone's YouTube channel. Like, So I am so glad you could show up, and thank you for sacrificing your portfolio to the YouTube universe for the world to see. Guys, it holds liquid. What more do you want? All right. So Sui is here. I am so glad to see that. Mr. Fosco. We got some old schoolers in here. I'm so glad Mr. Fosco's here. Mr. Fosco develops his own games. Is it Roblox? Sorry, I'm not hip to a lot of this stuff. Yeah, this is great. Oh my gosh. Thank you guys so much. And thank you developers for showing up en masse. Let's talk about this portfolio, okay? Like I said, we're probably going to go about an hour, plus or minus. We're going to go over the portfolio itself, and then we're going to check out some projects. So without further ado, let me just give a little disclaimer, and I promise we're going to do this review. I review portfolios on Safari. I know some people are just like, seriously, Safari? Data browser usage statistics put Safari at about 15 to 16% of all browsers used by humans. to browse the internet. That is not an insignificant amount. To be fair, desktop Safari is somewhere on, it's under 5%, but when you factor in iPad and when you factor in iPhone, okay, that's about 16%. Unfortunately, what I find is that a lot of developers, now not necessarily SUIs, but this has been my experience with portfolio reviews in the past, when people are coding or developing, they are not taking Safari into consideration, and I think that's a big mistake. Because that recruiter could be using an iPad, an iPhone, and in the off chance, Safari for desktop. But 16% of browser usage is not something to ignore. And so the purpose of me using Safari is to illustrate where things can go wrong in your projects and in your portfolio, where things are breaking, and also to illustrate, I use Safari too. Now, I don't use it for the purposes most other people use it for. I use it for stuff like this, but you know, put me into that 16% bracket. So let's do this. I also have a copy pulled up here on Chrome, so we can compare differences, compare and contrast maybe some indiscrepancies if we come across them. All right, we're going to pop on here. Sue's got something to say. It took me about a week to put together. I had a general idea and planned it out with a wireframe on Adobe XD and what functionality I want for each section. Okay, good. You know what? That's a great sign. That's a great sign that you took the time to design this as a front-end developer and that you already have a process for building this stuff. A lot of people just start coding, start developing, and that's one way of doing it, but that's not how you're going to do it in the real world. So you're already getting that good practice there. Okay, let me take a little sip, take a little breather. We're going to start this. The first thing I noticed on this portfolio, very first thing before this even loaded, was that this website is not secure. It's not a huge deal, but you don't want your users seeing this as the first thing. So what you can do, I saw that you use Namecheap down here somewhere in your stack or what you're using section. Namecheap. If you're using Namecheap for this site, go to Namecheap, get yourself a $10 SSL. I think they're like 10 or 15 bucks. Have them install it and you're good to go. The other thing I noticed, now this little design is neat, but I'm not really sure what it is. So as a user, I love this color of this landing page, and it's just gorgeous. It's a beautiful, calming turquoise. But this was a distraction because I was thinking about what I was missing. Like, is this a language? Is this a symbol? Is this something symbolic to you, developed by some other person or group? This is not, I want to be clear about how, the weight of what I'm pointing out. This is not like a make or break. Like, if you kept this in, it wouldn't be a make or break. But it is something I noticed right away where I wasn't understanding the connection. So maybe like an asterisk and like an explanation or some way to clearly show what the point of this is. It's super hot in here. I'm going to open a window. Don't go anywhere. Mic check. I know you guys can hear me. You can't see me. Ugh. All right. You guys still here? Cool. Okay, great. So that was the first thing. You have your socials up here, cool. And then it says, hi, I'm Sui, front-end developer. Ushering us to go down here. Now, normally, this is a portfolio, and your audience for your portfolio are generally going to be more tech proficient. Sorry. Your audience is going to be more tech proficient, generally speaking. If this was a general website, I would say get rid of the hamburger button or hamburger menu, because a general audience, some people don't know what that is. But I think you're fine with the hamburger right here because as techies, we're using this stuff a lot and we know what this means. So, but my first impression, aside from the SSL issue, just something drew me in because just the blue was just nice and calming. It's rare to find a texture or a photo that sets a mood without distracting the reader. Most popular websites are drab and dry, and they have to be that way because, you know, they're trying to sell 5,000 widgets, and if they have a colorful background, it's like, proven in studies that people buy 10% less when it's turquoise. Like, there's a reason for everything, but I think this color is just really setting the mood here. I feel a sense of peace. So the arrow entices us to scroll down, and we have your About section. These 4 blocks here basically are an extended bio. Who you are, what you're all about. I am, I was, I also enjoy, I'm passionate. A blocked bio here. I thought this was a neat section. What I can recommend is creating smaller paragraphs. Now, people who have gone to high school, gone to college, you learn, even in middle school, a paragraph is 5 to 8 sentences, right? The web has totally changed that. Most paragraphs I read are no longer than 3 sentences online. I would just, to make this more readable, I would separate them. Maybe like take this and put it on a different line and just start a new paragraph, especially with this one. This, to me, when I saw it, was just one big blob of text. And this is important. This is telling your backstory of how, what you're doing, what you have been doing, where you got started with technology. And this too, most importantly, now if this is the most important thing on this entire block section of About You, I think this needs to be bolded. It definitely needs to be on a new line. This needs to be emphasized because a lot of people, it sounds like the ghost of Emerald, or the exorcism of Emily Rose is happening because it's really windy outside. You never know what to expect on an RTC live stream. Give it up for the exorcism of Emily Rose. It's just so hot in here. I get my blood pressure is just, when I start doing this, I get hyped and I need some fresh air. So apologies for the spirit and exorcism of Emily Rose. I would emphasize that this has to be emphasized, because if this is your most important message, you need to show the reader. A lot of people reading this aren't going to get through all this, and they need to have, you could even do bullet points. I'm bullet point, Sui Young, bullet point, a front-end developer based in the GTA, bullet point, graduated recently from Juno College of Technology, which is, this used to be called something different. Was it Hack U, right? Hack U bootcamp. But now basically it's a college of technology, but it is like a boot camp. At least that's what I interpreted their message as when I visited the site. I would suggest bullet points or something similar where you can segment the About You, because honestly, even though your story is important about you, I think it needs to be just edited and cut and put into more digestible pieces. So, how are we doing in the audience? Conrad, what's going on? Conrad said, might be just me, but your hero image is not responsive on mobile. Okay. Current Theor RNR says, don't need to buy an SSL. You can get it done for free using Let's Encrypt. Does that work on shared hosting, though? I'm guessing this is not VPS or a dedicated server or cloud. Because she doesn't have root access. If this is hosted or shared hosting, she won't have root access to install that certificate. That's why I say have the Namecheap people do it, because she won't be able to SSH into root and all that good stuff. Ted Frick, so excited to be able to listen to some of this live stream. Hi. We got some great guests here. We have some great guests. Okay. So, condense this. Also, this is what I noticed when I was reading this. Sui Young, a front-end developer based in the GTA. When I read that, I thought it was the video game, Grand Theft Auto. That's because I'm an American rube and I had to Google what this was. If you are planning, whoopsies, if you're planning on getting a job in the Greater Toronto area, people are going to know what the GTA is, and that's totally fine, and it might actually serve to your benefit because people hiring generally want to hire people locally. There are exceptions to that, of course, but when they see that you're local, when they see that you're from the area, they know you're a real person. Like, your typical scammer or your typical poser is not going to say they live in the Greater Toronto area, and they're certainly not going to say, I'm based in the GTA. Like, no one is going to take, no fraud is going to take that time to do that. So it is kind of like an authentication in some way that you speak the language and have this, like the folk speak of the countrymen in Toronto. Toronto is a great tech city from what I've seen, though, from what I've researched. Is that true, Sui? Like, what is the tech scene like? Toronto is a very metropolitan, like it's bumping. Toronto is a bumping city. I really want to visit. I've been to Canada a few times, but never got to Toronto. Okay. About me, my skills. We now have HTML, CSS3, JavaScript, Sass, jQuery, GitHub, Git, React, Firebase, Bootstrap, VS Code, Adobe Illustrator, Adobe Photoshop. Good. What I don't like to see is when people assess their skills with like a 0 to 100, or it's like implying 0 to 100, and most of their skills, people don't know. I mean, what does that really mean when you do a self-assessment? No one's going to give themselves a 2 on JavaScript. Like, most code newbies, even me, like, I've been coding for 3 years. I'd give myself like a 40% on JavaScript. There is so much to learn. And this is stuff I work on not every day, but darn near every day. So I'm glad you didn't do that self-assessment, because when I see the self-assessments and I see people giving them 8 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 8 out of 10 for every technology, like, you're 8 out of 10 in React, 10 out of 10 means you wrote it and sleep it and wrote an encyclopedia on it. Like, there's no way you're an 8 out of 10 in React. So good for just listing these. I really appreciate that. And not to knock on people who do the self-assessments. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Like, they'll have bars. They'll say, my skills, HTML5, and then they'll have a bar that they shade in to represent 80% mastery. And then they'll have CSS3, and they'll shade that in to like 90% mastery. But then they want to be like realistic, so they give Sass a 40 or probably 60% mastery. And that'll be the lowest one. You're not a bad person if you do that. I'm not trying to like shame people who do that. What I am trying to say is that it's not effective and it doesn't work. So think about other ways you can share your skills other than those charts. Okay, so you listed your skills, that good. Are these skills listed in order of knowledge? What was your reasoning for the layout of these? Because I definitely, there's a difference between giving yourself a letter grade and saying, you know what, I'm pretty confident in HTML5. I'm not so confident in XYZ. Just something to think about. I really don't have any recommendations. I'm just curious as to if there is some logic behind the order of these. And if there is some logic, maybe consider, like on the slide, I just tried picking my nose. I don't know why I tried to hide it. It was an itch. I'm not trying to flick bugs. Like, it was a legitimate itch on my nose. I'm just wondering if this layout would be better suited if you explained the reasoning behind the order or not. As is, I think it's fine, but I'm wondering if it could be improved in some way. Okay, past projects. How's everybody doing out there? We have some amazing people in the chat today. Just looking at some notes here. Just looking at some comments here, we'll get back right to it. We're going to go into the project section in just a moment. Okay, Sui said, the symbol is my name in Chinese. But yes, I see what you're saying. I can add a tooltip hover to explain what the symbol is. I think that's a great idea. Also, I haven't been using Safari. We're going to do that right now. I think that's a great idea. Hovering over at a tooltip that says, hey, this is my name in Chinese. That's all you got to do. I think that would add a lot to the user experience. So we're in Safari right now, and everything's looking the same so far, and now we're hitting the projects. The projects are interesting, and there are a few things I picked up. 3 out of the 4 projects here, we have the ethical makeup project, we have the Cohort 25 chat, we have the palette designer, and we have Juno Tarot. Oh, you have 5 projects. Juno Tarot and Harper's blog. 3 out of the 4, or possibly 4 out of the 4, are using an API. So three for sure. 3 out of 5 projects are using an API, and that's one of the things I noticed almost first. I don't remember what exactly I noticed first, but that was almost first. Was that you work with a lot of APIs? That is a serious skill. I don't know what else else to expand on that other than that is a real good skill to have. A lot of people haven't worked with APIs, or if they have, it was very limited in one scenario. You've used multiple scenarios and multiple projects using various APIs. For the ethical makeup, you use the makeup API. For the Cohort 25, you use the GitHub API. For the palette designer, you use the Spoonacular API. I think that is something to highlight somehow. Maybe up here, my skills API. That's a serious skill. These are all serious skills too. These are important skills to have, especially as a front-end designer, or front-end developer and designer, Adobe Illustrator and Photoshop. I mean, I think you should keep all these, but I think somewhere it needs to be emphasized that you have experience with APIs. When I scroll down here, I noticed a cute little lipstick thing. And then I scroll down again and I noticed a cute little Cohort 25 chat box. And then I scroll down again and I noticed a cute little palette designer plate, fork, and knife. And then to the Juno Tarot, I have 2 cards. And then on Harper's blog, I have a flower. Now this is my cursor. My mouse cursor is turning into these various designs. I think, Sui, I think they're so cute, but I think they've got to go. Here's why. They're distracting. They're not adding to my user experience. And it's changing, but my experience is not enhanced in any way once they change. Aside from me being, oh, what's going, can I like color with this? I would say these have got to go. The other issue I had on Safari was that I was trying to view the lives. So for Cohort 25, I don't know if this is true with Chrome, but this certainly is with Safari. I hovered over the view live, and there is some sort of glitch with the cursor. So I have to, throw it over a few times. Now it's working. Okay, I'm clicking right now. I'm hovered over the view live, but nothing's happening. And I think these icons that transform my cursor are taking away from your portfolio. And more importantly, they're distracting from your projects. And the purpose of a portfolio, especially the purpose of a newbie portfolio, is to show off your skills via projects. Now, when you've been in the business for a year or more, we'll say a couple years just to be safe, portfolios play less of a role. And in fact, a lot of times they play no role. Because if you're a mid-level and senior, you don't have time to work on projects, and a lot of all projects that you work on at work cannot be shared. The code cannot be shared. And generally speaking, most times there's some sort of non-disclosure agreement or some other arrangement where you cannot do a case study on the projects that you worked on at work, etc. What I'm saying is newbie portfolios and the projects of a portfolio for newbies is of utmost importance. And so the focus really needs to be there. When I see the cursors, it just takes away from that. It takes away from me checking out your skills. And what takes the place of portfolios when you've been in the industry? Your experience. Your experience on the job. Your companies take the place of projects. Your companies on your resume take the place of portfolios. So this is why it's so important to just really hone in and show the user, show the recruiter, show the employer, show the senior developer from the potential employer your protein. So down here, we have the technologies used, and there's a source code here and view live. I like this a lot. I do see this more and more in portfolios, which is really great. You have the option to view the project. You have the option to view the source code. Now, these portfolio reviews are not code reviews. I suppose one day if there was enough interest, I could do some code reviews. But we don't do those. We don't do that here. We haven't been doing that here. So I'm not going to go over the code. Let's go to the view live. This is the ethical makeup project. An ethical makeup review app that uses the makeup API. Search by a product type or brand and check other users' reviews and leave your own on any of the ethical makeup products. Let's go view live. And hello. Okay. Still getting some glitches with that icon there. Can you guys hear that wind? It legit sounds like there's a tornado outside right now. It's really scary. Ethical makeup. Search for vegan makeup by type, name, or brand. Okay. Clinique. Clinique. That is my all-time favorite makeup. I love Clinique so much. I'm a Clinique for life. No, Clinique's not vegan? Man, no results. Please try again. Okay, what are my choices? Can I just click on something? How do I go to the home? Okay, and here again we have that cursor that transforms into a lipstick tube. I would take that out. Stick with what people are used to as far as their normal experience goes. It's absolutely wonderful to be creative. I want to see more of that with portfolios, and I love seeing people who take creative efforts. This is a very logical and sometimes linear. I don't even know if that's the right word. Sometimes it's easy to stray away from creativity when we're working on logical things, logical skills. So I want to be able to go home, but it's not letting me. So let's click Sort Clean. And then can I sort this? So I think, okay, so I can't filter something with no result. Log in, I'm good. That's to log into authorized Firebase, I would assume, right? I think that's what it was. Okay, let's go. Let's see if we can get back this way. Okay, so for that, I would say there's no way I could possibly go through this entire site because it is based on an API and I'd have a million products to go through. Have a few people test your site. And this is my recommendation for all of these projects. Get a group of like 5 people, maybe more, to test these sites. You can ask some people on my Discord. You can ask your family or friends. You could ask people from your cohort. It doesn't matter who. Probably not people who have designed the site because, you know, we have blinders on. We have these project blinders on when we work on stuff. And sometimes it's hard for us to reset our eyes. Find 5 people who have never seen this application If possible, be there with them while they're testing it, and then see what's working and what's not. Because right now, if I was a recruiter, if I was getting ready to decide if I wanted to call you or not, I would be a little hesitant using, or at least with this project, because right away I had an experience and pretty much my experience ended. And the site, I don't know if it was a glitch or just uncompleted. I looked for a brand that wasn't there and I couldn't go back home to search for a product. And it's really hard to test for these different cases and these different scenarios, to test all of them, especially if it's never occurred. Like, well, what does happen when there's not a product and the person wants to go and search again? These are things that really hide in the corners sometimes, and getting a group of people to test that out is really going to improve the project. I would say that's priority one. And then just get their opinions and feedback. Some people are going to have feedback that is absolutely worthless. They're going to be like, yeah, this site sucks. Or, you know, they're going to say like, oh yeah, it's all great. Some people are just like, you're going to roll your eyes. Just toss away what they say. If it's not constructive, just toss it. Just toss it. Only take the constructive stuff. And even then, it's not mandatory. All they're trying to do, the purpose of this is to illustrate potential issues with your site, nothing more. It is not an assessment of, you know, your talents or whatever. It is just, it's strictly about the site and what you can do to improve it. So I see this as a group project. Is this from your cohort? Also, Naveen, Jobert, and Stephanie. Hey, there is a Stephanie here in the chat. Let's go back. Let's go to the chat here and see what's going on. Stephanie is here. Okay, Sui said it was supposed to take you to the home page when you click the header title, but I think something broke. You know, there's a good chance it has to do with Safari, honestly. I would test it in Chrome too. But even if this did take me back, let me try this again. Clinique, I don't even know how to spell it. Cliniquois. So, okay, I don't have any results. I want to go home. So let's say I'm a user. I didn't have any results for Clinique. I'm not sure where to go now. So I'm like, well, I'll go home and just browse. Is it going? No. It might be because of Safari. It might be because of this lipstick icon. Like I said before, I know I've mentioned it multiple times, but I think the custom icons have to go. So that is my recommendation for that. Good work here. There's a lot of features here. Filtering and sort is such a pain in the butt. I worked on a lot of these features. I worked at an IBM partner shop. It was an e-commerce shop. And I worked on some of these features. And when you're dealing with thousands of products and tons of filters and tons of databases and just like at scale, oh Lord, it's very tedious to say the least. Sorting and filtering looks easy. Maybe that's why it's so, because it is so deceptive. It's like, oh, I'll just click it and something will pop up. Yeah, it's not that simple. But yeah, get some people to beta test all of these sites. Cohort 25 chat. Log in using your GitHub user ID. Using the GitHub API and using public account information, you can use this app to chat with other users and be uniquely identified by your GitHub account. Okay, let's give it a roll. I might actually, let's see. Okay, let's open it. So this was this was built in React. I would say for these icons, give each one a color or similar. Now, I don't like being too specific with my implementation advice. So let me just say this. If you built a React app, I want to know right away it's a React app without reading the narrative. You know, if this was blue and HTML was orange, like it would pop out a lot more. Also, too, if you change the colors of GitHub and View Live, because as of right now, GitHub and View Live, the way the colors are organized, it suggests that these two things are also skills or technologies that you use in the project. You know what I mean? Like, obviously reading it, I know I'm going to view live. But if I'm just like glossing over it, I don't really see right away that these are two separate things, like two separate concepts. So I would separate or use different colors or something to get these segmented. I think there needs to be a little more segmentation here. Let's go to the Cohort 25 chat. It's so great that Sui has Stephanie here today, giving her some props in the chat. Shahanawaz says, hi, thanks for the live. It's almost 4 a.m. here, and I'm watching your live, which is very informative. I appreciate that. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome new subscribers and welcome new members. Welcome, everyone. Sammy's here. Hey, Sammy, how's it going? Sammy is from, I think, Liverpool. Joined the Discord the other night. Great. Great seeing some familiar faces here, some familiar names. Okay. Okay. Sui, how you holding up? I hope you're holding up here, because we're gonna tear into this, and the purpose is not to be. I wanna be clear. The purpose is absolutely not to like pull a Simon Cowell or like Gordon Ramsay, like Chef Gordon Ramsay. The reason I do go through these and do mention things, even small things, is because these are the things that can mean the difference between getting a callback and not getting a callback. So I know it's like, oh man, this is a brutal tear apart, but guys, developers, check this out. The other day, I received a public, someone tagged me on Discord. I did a portfolio of this guy the other month. I ripped it apart. Okay, I ripped it apart. Couple weeks go by, he makes the changes to his portfolio, and now he has a developer job. I'm doing a video on that in a few days. We're going to go over what changes he made, where he's working now, and yeah, just going over that and just really illustrating. Now, I play a small role in helping people get jobs, but it makes me feel good, and so that's why I continue to do it. I love being a part of your developer journeys, even if it is a small part, just critiquing a portfolio. So let's go to this React app. Okay, so the Cohort 25 chat, what actually is this? Let's see what this is. I forgot already. I'm going to read it again. Log in using your GitHub user ID. Using the GitHub API and using public account information, you can use this app to chat with other users and be uniquely identified by your GitHub account. Okay, what if I don't have a GitHub account? Is there something in place for that? Let's see. Boombaladi. Watch there be a Boombaladi. Okay, request failed, error not found. No, I'm going to X out. What if I just did like something like hot? What? Okay, so there's a user named Hot on GitHub, but I'm not that person. I'm RealToughCandy. So select color. I would say that needs to be addressed if you're just trying to target actual GitHub users, because that's not my username, or maybe an explanation of, because I'm not actually sure like what's going to happen after I click this, because I'm not legit right now. These colors are going outside of the box here. Also, I would consider putting a little rectangle of a color here to indicate what colors they are. So it just reduces my read time. Because right now I'm trying to imagine, okay, what is like Nick Red? I'm trying to imagine Nick Red. Okay, it takes me but a fraction of a millisecond. Yellow. Okay, what does this yellow look like? And there's different, there's different hues and tones of yellow, different types of teal. Olga purple. I don't know what color that is, especially because you're a front-end developer and with an emphasis on design. I would prioritize this. It does seem simple. It does seem like a simple thing, and it maybe seem like a trivial thing, but it is one of my first experiences on this application. Okay, so I selected Olga Blue. Got it. And so now Now, I looked at this portfolio last night, so I can tell you right now in Safari, I'm not able to go down to the chat box. So that's another issue you're going to want to take a look at. If I go to Cohort 25 chat, and I have to right click this to open. No, I don't. If I go in here, put hot, I'll select Olga blue, Olga purple, and now I'm in the chat. Am I in the chat? What? So I can delete? Okay. So this is like a modified CRUD app. That's a really cool idea. This is a modified CRUD app. Create, read, update, delete. Showing off your skills with that. New user. What happens? Okay. And I can't exit out. So I'd like to see an option of exiting out and just being able to start over with everything. Or something. You know, a fallback plan with this. Because right now, no matter what, I'm stuck on this modal, the submit your username. What about, I don't know, Real? Is there someone on GitHub named Real? There is. Also, there's something about the layout of this where I don't see the left side of this chat. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't see what I'm typing right now, and I can't scroll over. I can't scroll over to see what I'm typing. So again, this is where it's going to be helpful to have tests on different browsers. Can I delete other people's messages too? Test on different browsers. Get a few people who aren't a part of this project to test it, and then take notes. I think that's going to be a real eye-opener, because you're going to be like, what? I didn't even know that was a thing. I have people look over my projects sometimes, at least my side projects, and it's just like, when they see things I haven't noticed, I'm just like, are you serious? Like, I thought I tested for that. They will find things you never thought possible. You will think they're trying to hack you or something. Like, I don't know how they do it. It's like a 2-year-old. Do you ever give a 2-year-old a phone or something? They manage to like launch the nukes somewhere around the world. Like, what buttons did you press? But yeah, get a cohort of people who have never seen. Get a group. Get your crew. Maybe you had mentioned you're in real estate, right? What if you got your real estate? I don't know. How comfortable are you sharing with your people in real estate that you want you're trained to be a web developer, that you went to school for web development? Maybe get a crew from your real estate crowd. Next, palette designer. Let's check the comments here and see how everyone's doing. Sui says it's going good. I want to make this a better portfolio, and I genuinely appreciate your efforts and constructive critiques. Thanks, Sui. I know this is, you know, being under the lamp here, the dev lamp of just like dear, like what do they call those lamps? They're so bright, and people use them to shine on deer, which is not legal in many states. I don't even know if that's like a legal practice. You cannot do that. It's poor sportsmanship and illegal. But like this portfolio has the deer lamp just blasting on it. And it takes a lot of courage. So shout out again to Sui. I can't say that enough. Like, I would not be able to handle someone talking about my portfolio to the world. Welcome new subscribers, and welcome everyone. The Naked Flame said, love the username. I wonder if it's worth adding image icons underneath the description of each project with the main technologies used, like React icon plus web technologies icon plus Firebase icon. That's a good idea. That is a good idea. Ali says, should I learn PHP for backend and JavaScript for front end? Ali, I can't answer that in this live stream. This is all about Sui right now. Let's go to the next project. Palette. How much time we got? It's 4:50? We got about 20 minutes? We can do this. Oh yeah, we can do this. Palette designer. an app designed for everyday use, search by ingredients and dietary restrictions. Using the Spoonacular API, which meant having only 150 points to the endpoint a day, and each click taking up around 20. Interesting. The challenge of this program was a combination of testing and the limitations the API gave us. Good job. You explained the challenge. This is opening up to what I want to talk about next. It's something I talk about with nearly every portfolio review I do, and it's the PAR method. It's something I talk about extensively in my book, #1 top-rated book, and my #1 top-rated Udemy course, How to Get a Job in Web Development. The name might sound a little pornographic, a little too obvious, but we talk about something called the PAR method. Problem, action, result. And when you use the PAR method in your narrative, this is the narrative here, when you use the PAR method in your narrative, you tell your recruiter, you tell your employer, you tell that senior developer reading this right away that #1, you understood the problem to be solved. That's all web development is. That's all software engineering is and software development. It's problem solving. That's all it is. And if you can understand the problem, you're 90% there. I'm stealing that quote from somebody. I don't know who. I read it on my cat calendar the other day. I have a daily cat calendar. There's a cute cat on it for each day for the next year. Like, it is so awesome. My only regret is that the weekends, they combine the days, so there's only one cat photo. But if you can define the problem, you're mostly there. This is just problem solving. Now, next in the PAR, your action. What action did you take? What process did you use to solve that problem? And then R, what is the result? The result is ethical makeup, where you can search by brand, check user reviews and product type. And then maybe, how would you say? To reduce animal abuse or animal testing in the makeup industry around the world. And if you could put it in some sort of metric, if possible, okay, if you can't, that's fine too. But I would encourage you and every developer to take a look at the PAR method. That is but one of many methods we talk about in How to Get a Job in Web Development. It's a 2-hour course. There's downloadable PDFs of resumes, of a resume and a cover letter in the video course. Paradoodly-doo, I need you. Can you pop in the Amazon link for How to Get a Job in Web Development for the book and the Udemy link for the course for people interested? It's the lowest. I mean, honestly, I should be charging $100 for each of those things, but I'm not. And so take advantage for people who need to know more about that. But this here, more to the point of this portfolio, you're getting back to solving that problem. Look at this. And you explained the challenge. You understood the problem. You understood part of the problem. You understood the challenge. And so you went to go solve that and you worked around it. Not worked around it, but you worked through it. Palette designer. Palette designer, what do you have? Palette designer, palette designer. That was the first thing I noticed about the project. I'm a total foodie, so the amazing photos here were the other thing I noticed. But as a designer, as a front-end developer with an emphasis on design, redundancy is not a good thing. So we have palette designer, we have palette designer, we have palette designer. I would just, again, I don't like giving specific implementation advice or de-implementation as the case may be, but I would take this out completely. You already said it. It's already been set up here. And right here as well with the logo. So you have the instructions in the box. And as you guys can see, I searched avocado last night. Yeah, call me a hipster, but there are some really cool recipes down here. We have avocado stuffed tacos. Like, it was like 3 in the morning last night and I was reading this stuff. I was losing my mind. Easy avocado shake, taco stuffed avocados. Okay, so this is popping up twice. Not a big deal, but I am wondering why that's popping up twice. 5-minute guac, avocado toast. I'm no hipster, but these photos look a freaking amazing. OMG. OMG. Don't those look so good? I wanna get my paws on this thing. Look at those seeds. I'm a seed person. I love my little various crispies. This one looks okay. I don't know about the balsamic drizzle. I can't even say that word ever. I can only read it and write it. Balsamic, not drizzle. Yeah, so anyways, I was smitten with these recipes. So you had mentioned on here jQuery, HTML5, CSS API. Honestly, I want to know more about your build process. This is a cool app, but I want to know more, and I want to see it in that narrative, maybe in bullet point form. Maybe not. But for me, I want to know about your process. And I think that's all I have to say about this one. This is a cool app. This is a fun one, especially for foodies and if you have a dietary restriction. Okay, so I want to do keto. Can I do multiple? I can't do multiple. I want to do paleo. Primal. What's that? Is that like beef jerky morning, noon, and night? Oh, okay. My selection didn't bring up any results. Please try again. So I need to put in, could I do like avocado? What if I did like bison? That's pretty primal, right? What? Grilled bison with rosemary garlic butter and bison ribs? Yum. Yum. I went back to Chrome again. I'm supposed to be doing this on Safari. Oops. Let's see if this runs in Safari. Okay. Cool. Yeah, what? I don't know. That's probably an API thing. I'm not sure though. Restart. What does this do? So this might be an issue you might want to take a look at. I'm not sure. When I hit restart, I thought it was going to take me to the top, or does it just clear out? Does it just clear out avocado? Choose ingredients. They pop up. You have the placeholders, and then they pop up. So restart. That clears it out. But what's all this stuff? This is where, as a user, I'm kind of getting a little hesitant. It's to the point where I'm getting kind of afraid to click things. And I need to feel a little more confidence clicking on that. So I would get rid of all of these if possible, and just bring to top, or just say, put it down here, bring to top, or start over with like an arrow. This user experience is not comforting because I don't know what these do. And they're kind of just, I don't know why there are so many. I don't know. Are they the former placeholders of the recipes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If there are 10 avocado recipes, my answer will be given. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, okay. So I see what it is. So they're like, so it's a placeholder. Is that a fair assumption here that these are now placeholders? So I restarted and it cleared out the avocado, but now I'm left with these random placeholders. I would just try and retool that in a way that is more obvious for the user. Because like I said, when I got to this, now restart, I understand what that, I think I understood what that means. But I do think it needs to be a little more explicit and take you to the top or something similar. Okay, let's go to the other projects here. We have about 10 minutes, so I'll do Juno Tarot, and then I think we'll wrap it up and go to some audience questions. Hope you guys are doing good out there. If you're just joining us, we are reviewing Sui's portfolio. She is from the Greater Toronto area and stepped up to the portfolio chopping block so she can improve her chances of getting callbacks, interviews, and a dev job. That is the purpose of these portfolio reviews, is to go through them and make suggestions for doing things a little more optimally, a little more cleaner, a little more, I I don't know, insert adjective or adverb. I don't know which one, or noun. Somebody insert a noun. Somebody give me a noun or adjective. How to use. Okay, let's check out what this actually is. Juno Tarot. I always wanted to have a mobile tarot app for my favorite deck featured here. I set out to make one. The readings come from tarot.com. The images also. So credit goes there. And to the creator of the Winged Spirit Tarot, David Sexton. Okay. First of all, thank you for giving credit where credit is due. I have unfortunately seen some portfolios where people take 100% credit. And I want to be clear, it is okay to steal ideas. There's a difference between stealing a good idea and just blatantly ripping somebody off. Passing off someone's project as your own is not a good steal. Getting ideas from a great project is a good steal. Incorporating features that you saw perusing the internet that you think will really benefit your own application, that's a good steal. Hacking into someone's database to steal their information so you can make your site better, not a good steal. So I hope we're clear on the two different kinds of stealing. And you didn't do either of them. You gave attribution. You got a great idea because these are beautiful cards and beautiful illustrations. You took them and you credited. So that is good. That is really good. Now, let's try it. I love the aesthetic on this. Almost reminds me of like a PBS Kids site from the late 90s. There used to be my sister and I, and if my sister is watching this, she knows what site. It was like a sticker page on pbskids.org, and you would just like sign in and collect stickers. And this totally reminds me of it. So I did get some good chemicals flowing through. Juno Tarot, how to use. Click the deck one time per card placement. Your reading will show up as you click. You can only click 3 times. Click reset button to draw again. Winged Spirit Tarot plays the beauty and mystery of angels and other winged spirits, based on the timeless concepts that angels are a bridge between the known and the unknown. Giving credit here. To see more, click here. I would expand on this because I don't know where you're taking me, even though it says on the URL bar. You're taking me to, I would say something like, to learn more about the spirit of the tarot, or the Winged Spirit Tarot, click here. Particle background plugin form. I don't know if that's necessary. I appreciate you giving attribution for the plugin. Unless the creator explicitly said you need to give me attribution on the page, I would actually take this out. If you feel the need to give credit, I would place it in a more inconspicuous area. Maybe like down here in the footer or something. So, okay, the arrow is pointing. Do I click the arrow? Information. Okay, reset. So here's the instructions. And now to play, I click this. What's a little tough for me with this one is that the instructions, there are 4 instructions, and if I've never played this game before, I'm gonna forget the first instruction as soon as I start playing. It would be nice to see the instructions continuously, or if I could toggle the instructions. So like if there's like a minimize button here, and I could minimize the instructions so that it'd be a little box in the corner or a little tab or something. And I could say, you know what? Okay, what's step 2? And I'll click the box. Okay, so that is kind of what I'm talking about. But I didn't know I could go back up there and see the directions. And I think the bigger issue is that once I start playing, I'm never able to see the instructions. So I'm like, okay, I go to, what's step 1? Step 1, click the deck one time per card placement. And then I go here and click again. I go here. Okay, so I have to click the I. This is a little confusing also. Because I'm hitting the information button to go back to play the game. You know what I mean? I think more explicit buttons would also be a real boost to this project. So it said click one. Did it say click one card? Okay. So you gave the visual feedback there, which is good. That's great. That's great that you did that. Let's click, because now I know. I'm like, okay, do I hit the thing? Oh, it lit up. Maybe I'll click that. Boom. Okay, here's my reading. I'm having a major wardrobe malfunction with this thing. It's gone. It's gone, y'all. It's gone. Queen of Wands. This is cool. The Queen of Wands is the best kind of manager to have because she is like a challenging but encouraging mother who knows you have it in you. Hey, I like this reading so far. So now what is my next step? Your reading will show up as you click. You can only click 3 times. Okay, so see, this is the issue I do have with this because I'm clicking. It's giving me feedback as I hover over the arrow and I'm like mashing my trackpad right now, trying to go back to the game, but I have to click the I button. So I do really think that's one of the biggest things here is the buttons and the navigation for the user, because I'm expecting something to happen each time I do this, and I can't click out of the box either. That might be something to consider too if someone clicks outside the box to just go back to the game, because this is really a little small thing to go back to the main feature. And then I'll go again, and then it just, okay, so you're pushing the second card. You're pushing the second card to this reading. That's pretty cool. And then it just goes right here. It pops up right here. That's cool. This is a cool little project. And I think with some UX and UI tweaking and some re-engineering with that, this could be a really cool project. It already is. But the major thing is the navigation. Okay. What do we have? What time? It's 5:07. All right, developers, we're going to go down here. I'm not going to look at the Harper's blog. This is a pixel perfect translation of a PSD design into a full responsive site. I'll click on it real quick just to see. This is nice and clean. Be sure too, I didn't test for responsiveness. I would test for responsiveness too on all these sites. That's something I didn't get to today. And a lot of times I forget to do it. What I'm using. This is a cool section. Inspired by Wes Boss's uses.tech and Ben Shee's uses. This is a really cool section where you have hardware, gadgets, dev tools, development services, and general software. Just giving people a better idea and a more illustrating the behind the scenes nature of how you do this stuff. Like, oh, Suli's rocking an MSI GL63 8SE 15-inch laptop. Sweet. Monitor, 22-inch, 1080p, battery-free pen display tablet. Like the specs here, it's a really cool feature. This is something I haven't seen on any other portfolio, and I think it adds to you. I think it adds to your developer narrative, which is important. It's not all about the projects. It's not all about the code. It also illustrates your technical process and shows people more about what your environment consists of. Because if there was just like, if all you had in this section was hardware, library PC, or PC from local library, that could be, there's no shame in that. But if that's the only thing you're using, you're not going to have experience using these different gadgets, or maybe I gotta think of a better example. Like, for example, if you're using a library computer, you're not going to have the opportunity usually to install VS Code or run a virtual machine with Ubuntu. Ubuntu or Ubuntu? I have no idea. Why do these flavors? Well, to be fair, this Ubuntu is the only flavor that I can't pronounce. I can't even speak, so what does that matter? Development services. I think this is a great thing. Keep this. This is really neat. Blog. Okay, you're sharing your writing. That's good. And then finally, the contact me, or you can contact here. I like this. I like that you have the built-in contact form. This is something I get on developers a lot about when they're doing portfolios, because for me personally, The last thing, I sometimes use Gmail. I sometimes use my own domain to write emails to people, to candidates, etc. So if I have this option, it's good. If I only have this option, if I only have the option to email you directly, what am I going to, and I don't have a mail client, in other words, I have to go to like Gmail, what am I doing? I'm copying, I'm highlighting, I'm copying, I'm pasting, I'm going to Gmail. That's a 4-step process I could have totally avoided just by having this contact form here. So you always want to think about things you can do with less steps. That's really the name of the game in engineering in general. But it does apply perfectly to something like a contact form too. Also socials. We're not going to go through the socials. Just make sure your socials are related to tech. People can get in some trouble, especially with Twitter, which I like to call fireme.com, just because there is no barrier. People go absolutely bananas on Twitter. They freak out. They say the silly things that get them fired. Now, I don't know. I'm guessing that's not the case with you, Sui. But I'm just saying, as a general heads up, be sure to link to accounts that mostly focus on tech. You know, a few food pictures is fine, but these links need to accent your candidacy. Do you get what I'm saying? If you're trying to show a candidate what you have for breakfast, lunch, and dinner on your Twitter account, that just doesn't do anything for you, you know? So, you have, is this CodePen? Great. CodePen link, awesome. GitHub, great. Also, send a direct email by clicking that button too. Medium, the big one for me is Twitter and also Facebook. I don't use Facebook. A lot of people don't, but so many people do. And if you don't have a Facebook account, it is hard to access your account. And they're always pressuring you to sign up and stuff. And when I'm going to Facebook as a non-Facebook user, the experience sucks. And I know you don't have Facebook on here, but it's just a general heads up. If you're going to link to Twitter or Facebook, they need to be predominantly tech. No photos of the Red Solo Cup, like partying in Florida, in a hotel in Panama City, okay? They need to be tech related. It's also something I talk about on how to get a job in web development. Paradoodly, pop that link in one more time for the folks, for the peeps. It's a top-rated course on Udemy, top-rated #1 book, just filled to the brim with practical, actionable advice, and it's helped hundreds of people get dev jobs. Because we focus on the practicality, I'm not teaching coding skills in these, so I get to the point very quickly of what employers are looking for. So let's go to the comments. My time is running out. 50 people on. I want to thank everyone for joining today. Max says if you like Chrome, you should try Brave. You know, I haven't taken the plunge with Brave. Sui said the restart is supposed to bring you back to the top, so I'll definitely look into that. Okay, that was the palette pleaser. What was the project? Palette designer. That was the palette designer project. Does anybody, let's just go through these comments. Matacoma Blessed is back. He or she was at the live stream yesterday. How are you all doing? Great portfolio, by the way. Good to see you. The Cloaker says, hey, Candy, have you ever used Wappalizer? I have. Not regularly, but I do use it here and there. Noob Boys. Sammy Turner. Oh, you could use JavaScript on the back end, too, via Node. Mm-hmm. Ali says, hi from Sydney, 8:45 a.m. on a Sunday. Checking in, day 1 at learning how to create an online shop, and I'm not sure where to study. I would love to answer that question in this live stream, Ali. Come to my Discord. Honestly, seriously, I'm not trying to like do a shameless promotion of the Discord here, but come to the Discord and ask around. I am going to be there later today too. I can try and help you. I make no promises, but I can try and steer you in the right direction with that. Stephanie says, Juno, make sure we get serious API practice in. Okay, cool. So, these projects that, a lot of these projects that Sui worked on are from her code school, Juno College of Technology. Sui, how you doing? Thank you so much for bringing your portfolio on the show. Developers, I hope you got something out of this as well. That's half of the reason, maybe not half, but that's a big reason why I do these and publish them as well, because so many people benefit from these reviews. So they're helping out Sui, hopefully, and they're helping out other people too, and I hope you enjoyed this one. We're going to be doing some more live streams. My goal is to do a live stream every day until we hashtag flatten the curve here in the States. Might be a few weeks, might be a few months. But I know I have a little extra time on my hands, and I know a lot of people out there have a little extra time on their hands. So I figured we'd put two and two together and have a party! I did it all for the JavaScript mugs. Available on the CandyScript store. The link is pinned in the comments section. It's also in the description box. Developers. Sui says, I really appreciate your support and encouragement as well as your suggestions and advice. Definitely going to go back and work on your suggestions. Great. Awesome. Thanks for watching, developers. I wish I could stay on for a few more hours, honestly, and do some more portfolios, but I can't. I know. I did a review a few weeks ago of a live stream. It was 4.5 hours of 32 plus portfolios. If you need some more portfolios reviewed, go watch that video. I hope your developers are having a great day. And if you're not a developer, I hope to see you soon on the other side. My good friend Paradoodly is studying up this weekend. She's teaching herself HTML, CSS, and maybe even JavaScript this weekend using a course I personally curated for her, and I'm so excited. It's so great seeing more and more people coming into this career field. It's Sui is in real estate right now. I think you're a mortgage lender and a realtor. And those are great skills to have in and of themselves. But thinking about, projects you can incorporate using your real estate knowledge. That could be something to think about in the future too. If you should always be, not just Sui, but everybody should always be thinking about that next project. If you're a code newbie, if you're new to the industry, always be thinking about doing that next project, doing it bigger, doing it better. And if you're not thinking about the next project, be thinking about refactoring your current one. You should ABC, always be coding, always be coding. It'll get easier. These things will be becoming more natural. And soon enough, a lot of this stuff is just going to be even non-cerebral. You won't even be thinking about it. Well, gang, I'm going to grab my hanky here. I guess I just get too excited during the live streams. I'm just throwing things. Thanks for tuning in. As always, I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.